leadership role, the chief's role is all in. My wife goes with me everywhere. She goes to events. She goes to call out sometimes.
Yeah.
She's 100% in.
Hey everybody, it's Michael Laidler again, coming back from another episode for the LEO First podcast. If you can't tell, I have Chief Mike Markle with me. He is the chief of the Corpus Christi Police Department, and I'm actually in Corpus Christi today, fortunately, speaking some awareness about mental wellness and leadership to his team. He gave me the privilege to come out here, so I'm very excited. Obviously, we're also at Church Unlimited. So really just want to touch base with him while I was here. So Mike, tell us a little bit about how it is to be a leader at the top.
Oh man, it's wonderful. I'm blessed to be in a community that supports us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm blessed to have a good-sized police department. You know, we're about 500 strong.
Mm-hmm.
That's the right size. So
That is.
big enough to be personal, right? Big enough to have all elements, and small enough to be personal, I should say. And we have wonderful folks here. So yeah, I love being the chief here. I grew up here.
Okay.
As far as in the department goes, I came on in '89 when I exited the military. Worked in or overseen every part of the department. So
You have nearly 40 years in either 35 in law enforcement, 4 in the military.
Yeah.
I know it's tough. How do you handle that and balance that life with the family life?
For me, the leadership role, the chief's role is all in. My wife goes with me everywhere. She goes to events. She goes to call out sometimes.
Yeah.
She's 100% in. You know, the 2 a.m. phone calls that come every night.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she never has a bad thing to say about it. She's part and parcel, part of the group. She's part of a group of police officer wives that give support if there's an OIS or something happens to an officer. They set up food lines and meal trains and those kind of things. So she's very, very immersed in the public safety world. So my personal life, again, is part and parcel with my professional life.
There's really no, and what people, one thing that I had to learn through leadership development and life was people try to say you separate the two. You really can't. Like it always blends. It always blends together. But you shouldn't. Like you said, you should have the work side and the life side. But you have to have a balance. But you can't just completely say, "Oh, I'm just going to turn everything off when I get home or when I come to work." And I think that's where people find themselves at high levels of stress because they're trying to turn it off.
Yeah, I think you should, not to sound coy, but you should make it just part of your life. It's all part of your life, family and work mix. And so, you were a police officer for a long time. You have good days, bad days.
Correct.
Sometimes tragedy happens. Oftentimes wonderful things happen, just like in life. So you keep it real at home, and you don't mope around. You don't dwell on the negatives. So that is synergistic and positive energy, I think. If you build some synergy with your family, if they're part of your life.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I 100%. I have a 10-year-old boy, and he tears me up daily in and out. He'll probably watch this podcast and say, "Dad, why'd you talk about me?" But I understand it. But I tell people I incorporate him in things I do because I know you shouldn't. I mean, yeah, you should try not to carry stress from one to the other, but you're going to. So you just got to know how to handle it when it comes up.
Sure. It's good you have somebody you're comfortable with. Say, "Hey, what's bothering you?" You say, "Well, this happened today."
Yeah. And it's not any easier. And one of the things I talk about in my presentation is the higher you go doesn't negate that you have issues.
Sure.
You don't. But people think that they think because you have 4 stars on your collar that, Mike, you don't have no issues. Oh, that's Chief. Chief can't be going anything. But that's completely wrong.
Yeah.
It's now you're looking at all 500 people's problems in one way or form. And a lot of times by the time you hear it, it's already been filtered through multiple channels.
That's true. And in that respect, I think it helps that I keep a real personal relationship with the line. I know there's a chain of command, but I have no barriers as far as open door and reciprocating. I reach out to the troops all the time, ask them their opinion of things, ask them what's going on. So I think that helps the environment also.
Yeah. No, and it does. And I think whoever watches this, whether they're in law enforcement, they're thinking about it, they work for CCPD, I think sometimes it's good to understand that everybody has something going on.
Oh,
But
yeah.
everybody should be working on themselves no matter what, and realize that at the end of the day, we all retire, we all resign,
Yeah.
we all leave, we do, but that's life.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be in one organization, so you have to make sure you have that family connection, like you and your wife, like putting and merging it together, like, hey, she's involved too, she knows what's going on. Like, I'm not going home, and I know some spouses do that, men and women, they're like, my spouse knows nothing. And it's like, well, when you have something going on that's negative, how are they going to help you if they don't know?
Yeah. And that just adds to the stress.
Correct.
Yeah, so I agree 100%.
So yeah, so I didn't want to take too much time, but I wanted to touch base with you real quick. Like I said, I'm enjoying being here. Your staff's been amazing, from Lieutenant Garcia, Deputy Chief Sanders, the staff here at Church Unlimited, everything's been great. If somebody was trying to reach you and they was like, man, we really either want to get in CCPD or we just want to follow the leadership of Chief Markle, what is the best way for them to contact you?
Yeah, just email me or call my office. My email is straight up mikema@cctexas.com. It's real quick and easy. I always respond. You cannot inconvenience me. I love when people reach out.
That's good. That's real stuff right there. Any
Yeah,
final
you
words?
can. That's a mantra. No, I hope that if somebody is interested in the public safety life, they're unabashed, they move forward with it. You know, it can be some of the most fulfilling time of your life.
Absolutely.
Even if you don't do it your entire life, I think it gives great perspective. It gives you well-grounded, what keeps you well-grounded, you know, if you do it for the right reasons. And we need good folks. We need good people.
I agree.
And, you know, we sometimes concentrate too much on the negatives. You know,
It's easy.
It's easy to do.
follow that
You
track.
watch around the country, and there are some things that happen that shouldn't have happened, but that's not everywhere.
It's not.
Right.
The percentages are definitely not in
No,
that direction.
you
by
have
no means.
control of your own actions. You be your own person. Get into public safety, and if not, get to know public safety. Right.
Absolutely.
We run like the Citizens Police Academy, and we have Explorers, which are like Boy Scouts or young folks that maybe someday want to do public service in some realm. So.
You have everything.
You have everything.
Yeah,
so.
don't think that the Corpus Christi Police Department does not have anything. I mean, 500 staff, you're going to have a lot. And most places around the country, it's a larger police department. It's obviously it's not L.A. or New York, but it's definitely much bigger than Brownsville.
It's in the 1%.
It's definitely. And I can tell. I mean, like the structure I've seen, some things I've seen, I'm like, yeah, you guys have a lot. You're doing well.
Yeah. Well, we're blessed, like I said. We have a lot of support here. So.
Yeah. And I could tell a story. So, guys, you've heard it. Chief Markle, Mike Markle from Corpus Christi Police, and you can tell there's leadership here. And I do recommend, if there's anything you have that makes you wonder about what's going on here, he's an open book. Y'all just heard it. He told your email. I'm sure if you ever try to reach out to a chief before, whoever, you can't do it. So
No,
you
can
guys
with
know.
me.
Yeah, but you can, and that's what you want. You want the environment where it's growth. Is everything perfect anywhere? Absolutely not. But what I look for, especially as a speaker, is places that grow, places that are moving in the right direction. And I can tell you, Corpus Christi, they're definitely in that direction. That if I was looking for a law enforcement career to wear a uniform again, this might be a place I would look at, because when you find strong leadership, you try to associate yourself with it. And I know with Mike, that's what they have here. So if you guys have anything, y'all know how to find them. Obviously, if you're looking for me, always reach out to me. But thank you for your time. Mike, thank you for having me
Mike.
out here.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
If you guys need anything, feel free to reach out. You guys be safe. Thank you so much for listening to the LEO First podcast. We hope we have provided you with information that can change your life. I'm asking you one favor. Subscribe and leave a review on Apple Podcasts. I don't know how I can serve you better. If you know anyone who will benefit from it, please share. Remember, it is simple. Create your legacy.